Today I'm checking out my first CNC router from Acmer. It is the ASCARVA 4S. We're gonna check out everything that's included with the machine, along with spending some time on the software, which on these CNC machines can be a little overwhelming and confusing. We're gonna check out some of the projects I've already made, along with going through the steps on starting a brand new project. All that coming up in this video. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Laser channel where we learn, create, and share. My name is Greg, and the ASCARVA 4S, this is going to be an entry-level CNC router machine with a nice work area and a lot of nice features. Now, before I get ahead of myself and dive into everything that this machine has to offer, I'm going to back up a little bit to some video that I pre-recorded of the unboxing and setup and just checking out everything about the machine. While we watch that, I'm going to go over some of those nice features and specifications on the ASCARVA 4S. At the time of this video, the machine is offered with additional discounts and coupons at the official Acmer website. I'll have links down in the video description. The machine is well packaged with each major part in its own compartment to keep it safe and free from scratches or marks. All the parts may look like a lot, but all the major components are pre-assembled. At first, I was looking for the ASCARVA 4S to be fully pre-assembled, and then I realized that some assembly is a good thing. Using a CNC router requires some attention to detail and being able to read and follow directions. This isn't a toaster oven where I can just plug it in and wing it. The manual is pretty good, but leaves out the length of some of the screws needed for certain steps. Usually it's the short screws that are used first. While I assemble the rest of the machine, here's a couple key features with some reality checks. Capable of achieving 0.1 millimeter precision, engraving on a variety of materials including wood, acrylic, and epoxy boards. The included 70-watt spindle is great for daily engraving tasks, which can be upgraded to a more powerful 500-watt spindle to tackle larger projects or harder materials. Boasting a maximum engraving speed of 1,000 millimeters per minute, a travel speed of 5,000 millimeters per minute, and acceleration of 100 millimeters per second squared, ensuring stable and high-speed operation. Using the lower wattage spindle like I am, the usable speeds are going to be much slower. The machine also supports 5 and 10 watt laser modules. However, I recommend using a whole separate laser machine that's faster and has much higher acceleration, which also greatly impacts the overall speed of a laser machine. The assembly is straightforward and fun. All the electrical connections are clearly labeled, and most are also color-coded. Well, it looks like the assembly is complete, and let's check out the ASCARVA 4S. The work area comes in at 400 by 400 millimeters, and freedom units, that's going to be 15.75 inches. The Z-axis, or the height travel, is 80 millimeters, that's 3.15 inches. There's a nice lead screw for the Z-axis movement. A solid aluminum motor mount that also acts as a giant heatsink for those long duration projects and extended use. A very nice and useful light. 2-piece spoiler boards with a ton of tie down points, noting the threads are recessed to avoid contact with the router bits. The high sides act as a dust shield while allowing easy access for cleaning and inspection. Overall, a solid metal construction. Plastic really has no place on a CNC router frame. Accuracy resides in a rigid metal frame. After copying the files from the SD card to my computer for future use, it gets inserted into the machine. Note, the sample included files must not be in a file folder. Mine were in the machine, would not read them, so I moved them out of the folder and it read just fine. Yep, you heard that correct. The machine will run offline, no computer connection needed. Now we're on to software, which is oftentimes very confusing and overwhelming when we're looking at a desktop CNC router. And it seems like with all the different software packages out there, some of them seem like they're doing different things, and that's because a lot of them are. To create a project on the machine, there's two different softwares that are oftentimes used. The first software is going to be where we design our project. Maybe we design it from scratch, or maybe we just simply import some clip art like a SVG file, or if I'm going to do a 3D relief, I would be using an STL file. Now that design software does not connect the computer up to the machine itself, and for that we need that second software that's going to take our design file that we just made. It's going to convert it over to a language that the machine understands, and it's also going to allow for the computer connection up to the machine. To add to the confusion, the software designers don't know if we're using a hobby type machine like this one, or if we're using a large industrial machine. The price points and the features between those two types of software are going to be pretty large. So to avoid a lot of the confusion, I went with a software that is geared primarily towards the hobbyist end, but there's a pro version of it if I'm doing more industrial or larger projects. For that, let's check out the computer. Easel is a software program that I am in no way affiliated with. It's just a software program that I found that met all of my needs of basically, number one, being simple, and number two, it's going to combine the software of designing my project along with the other software of actually connecting the computer up to the machine, so it's everything all within one software package. I'll have a link to this software down in the video description if that's something that you would like to check out. Easel comes in two different versions, the standard version and the pro version. The pro version is pay, and here's some of the differences between the two. For this video, I'm using the free 30-day trial, which I'm about halfway through, so I do have access to all of the pro features within the software. I'll do a little fly around tour of Easel. On the left-hand side, I have all of my drawing tools, starting out with a number of different shapes I can draw. There's a line tool and even a text tool. Now with the 30-day trial, I of course have access to all the pro features of the software. What I really like about this trial period is anytime I would be using a pro feature of the software, it has a little note next to it being the pro version. So if I'm trying to stick with what would be the free part of Easel, I'd go down here and see that these are the fonts that I would have access to once my free trial runs out. There's also features like an image trace, and I can also load in some apps for different effects that I would like to have in on my project. And there's some different design elements like just simply drilling into our material. I can measure things, or I can import my own graphic file if I wish. Across the top, I've got project. I can import an SVG, I can import G-code, which G-code is what these machines run off of, and I can also import a 3D STL file, which of course is going to be a part of the pro version of Easel. Another cool thing here is I can download the G-code of my project. I can save it to an SD card and put that in the front of the machine, and then I can run the machine offline, no computer needed. Number one is I'm going to click on the material that I'm going to be using, and for today I'm going to be using some MDF. There it is. And the work area is going to be 4 inches by 4 inches. And now I have a graphical representation of the piece of wood that I'll be using, along with it resized my artboard for me to design my project on. Here's the MDF that I'm using. It's a real fine like sawdust that was basically glued together to make a board. What's really cool is this is readily available and really inexpensive, and it machines really great on a CNC machine, making it a perfect practice material. The actual piece I'll be using in today's video is going to be this MDF that I painted orange because at the time of this recording, it's October, and I thought I'll do a nice fall pumpkin color. To help speed things along in this video, I'm gonna kind of cheat a little bit, and I'm going to just simply import a previous art file that I've used on the laser channel. It's the logo of that wolf head. I have one that is natively an SVG file. And that loaded in, and I'm gonna grab the corner and stretch it out. And we can see I've got a size over here under the shape tab, and I'm gonna click on this so that I can change the size and keep the aspect ratio. And I wanna make that 3 inches. And now I can drag that over to a spot right about here. We'll also know that on the preview here, as I move my artwork around, it too automatically updates so I know exactly what this is going to look like. We're going to see that there's also a cut tab, and when I click on that, that is going to be the depth of how deep we're cutting into that block of orange MDF. Right now it's way too deep, and I'm going to keep it something about 1/10 of an inch, or actually I can go down here and just type in 0.1 and it sets the depth. Next, I'm going to go over to the other side of the screen here under bit. This is going to be the cutting tool I'm going to use on the spindle. And for that, I selected other. It is going to be a bit that has a 30-degree point on it. So it's going to have a very sharp point to it. And the width is going to be 1/8 of an inch. Once I have the bit selected, I'm going to go to cut settings, and normally it's on automatic, and because I'm getting started with this, I want to go over to manual, and I'm going to put in some relatively slow speeds here. I'm going to start out with 9 inches per minute with a plunge rate of 5 inches per minute. Yeah, that's pretty easy. Step 1, get a design, get some settings in there. We're moving right along. And from here, I'll click on Carve, and that is going to take me through several steps of getting the machine and the material set up to start this first project. Enter the exact thickness. I've already measured this, and I know it's 0.15 inches. Next, I need to clamp the material down. To square the project material up, I'll take a straight piece of material, put it behind the spindle, I can push my work material up against that, and now I know that my work material is now square against the rest of the machine. I'll grab one of the tie downs and put it to the very outside. This step is complete. I'll confirm that is the bit I am using. And work 0. For this, I'm going to use the controls within Easel to home the machine. Once the machine is homed, I'm going to use these jog buttons for both the Y and the X axes. I'm going to position that in the lower right-hand corner of the work material we just attached. And then I'm going to lower the spindle or the Z axis so it is just touching the top of the work material. One of the things I like to do is use a piece of paper or even a Post-it to make sure that I get that bit just about touching the surface. From the touchscreen, I'll go Control Tool, Tool, and I can turn the spindle on. And if I want to, I can even turn on the working light. I'll confirm the spindle is on, and I can hit Carve and start creating our first project on the machine.
And now the moment we've been waiting for is here.
And check this out, the high dust shields on the side of the machine kept all of the dust within the work area of the machine and off the guide rails on the outside. Here's another look at the project I just made. Everything turned out perfectly. Nice, clean, crisp cutting all the way through the entire project. I made another project off camera, this nice mandala design. We're going to see that I cut the blank out using a laser machine, and I've got all this charring on the edge, and that's one of the things that I like about using a CNC mill is that I don't have any charring whatsoever, and I get beautiful, clean, crisp results. Here's another larger project that I made. I did a dragon and it turned out really good, but there are a couple spots where the wood chipped away. I think this design would have been better if I made it quite a bit larger, but that's part of the learning process and why I like using this fiber board. This stuff is easy to cut and it's just dirt cheap to buy. Adding a CNC router to the shop is something that is definitely long overdue. It's going to bring a lot of flexibility to my projects where maybe a laser machine wasn't the right application, but the CNC router is. One of the things that I did not show in this video is what I did to set up this machine to get the maximum performance out of it. So join me in the next video where I'm going to be doing that, showing you all my secret tips and tricks to get these set up for maximum performance. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Not only does it help it grow, but it's an awesome way to connect video content like this with great viewers just like yourselves. And until we meet again in the next video, I'm Greg from the Laser Channel, where we learn, create, and share.